All right. Get this set up here. All right. All right. We got it all shaken off now. We're getting all set up. Ready to go. Ready to rock and roll. Ready to have a good time. We're ready to have some fun. Ready to get those babies sleeping through tonight. We got YouTube rocking over here. We got Facebook rocking over here. And we are going to have a good time tonight and get everybody's baby sleeping. You guys ready for some sleeping baby action tonight? Right? You guys, we got some tired moms out there that need to get their babies sleeping through the night. Is that where we're at? Let me know that's you. Let me know if that's you. Let me know where you're at, how old the babies are, what's going on. Welcome to all the new people that have never been on and seen us live before. Super duper exciting that you guys are here. We are absolutely going to help everyone on YouTube. Welcome on YouTube here with MyBabyCanSleep.com. We're baby sleep consultants and get their babies sleeping through the night. And we do it through our Sleep Accelerator course. And it is tons and tons of fun. So tonight we're going to go over the myths of a sleeping baby. We're going to go over the myths of sleep training. We're going to go over the myths of crying. We're going to go over the myths of feeding. And we're going to do some fun stuff. And if anybody says any different than what I say, they're going to get made fun of. No, we're going to talk about it though, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about it. And we're going to just logic and reason. So guys, we have to bring our logic caps today. We have to bring our reason caps today. And we're going to get a lot accomplished when we can be calm. Anything in life, when you take emotion out of it and you can just think clearly and purely and logically and soundly, ooh, you just get so much more done. And it's so much better. So again, Brad with MyBabyCanSleep.com. We're baby sleep consultants. We have moms, dads, families all over the world get their baby sleeping through the night. And that is what we'll make sure that we are audioized up. And then we're going to get all set here. Babies sleeping through the night. There we go. And my camera is a little herky-jerky this evening. I don't really know why. Let me just try to slim out some stuff here. And I'm going to roll down. We got some people. Tonight's going to be big. We invited some people here. And we're going to be, no hurry. And we're going to be ready to rock and roll. So Laura, what's going on, Laura? So good to see you. Teresa Jenkins Fuentes, another regular on here. What's going on? Heather, what's going on? Andrea Kingsbury, what's up? Jessica, Lindsey Vaughn, what's up? Kelly, what's going on? Rachel Martin, what's happening? Donna, what's happening? Lachey, what's going on? Shay, what are we doing? We're getting babies sleeping through the night. Selfie time. But first, actually, when you go live on YouTube, what's going on, everybody in YouTube land? You know, when you go live on YouTube, it makes you take a picture for the thumbnail. And so I had to just I can't just take a crappy one. So, you know, had to get that rolling out of the way. All right. Boy, we're still running a little choppy tonight. Man, I don't know what the dealio is specifically here. I don't know why we're running choppy, but that's okay. We're just going to plug through it because that's what we do. That's what we do here at My Baby Sleep. All right, Jessica, what's going on? Hello, I have a 5-month-old daughter, and I recently moved her to her crib in her own room. Good job. Yes. She used to nap in a rock and play and sleep during the night in her bassinet. She would 10 minutes at a time. I lay her down awake. Puts herself to sleep pretty good. Only whines a little, but wakes up soon after. What can I do to increase her naps? She's ill the majority of the day. 2 to 3 hours naps in the morning, 1 to 2 hours in the afternoon. Now it's basically 20 minutes for naps. And if I'm implementing a new daily schedule, do I need to take her home for 2 to 3 days straight? Let's see, a 5-month-old. Okay. So, Jessica, here's the deal. Just because you're on a schedule that worked before doesn't mean that it's going to work again. Okay, so that's kind of the first and foremost of what you guys have to understand. You have to know and understand how to transition with your baby. Guys, you got to know how to do that, because what worked at 3 months isn't going to work at 4 months, isn't going to work at 5 months, or, you know, more appropriately, what isn't going to work at 4 weeks is not going to work at six weeks, and is not going to work at 10 weeks. So 5-month-old should easily be sleeping through the night. Okay, we're going to go over that tonight. We're going to go over a good schedule. We're going to go over how to get on a good schedule. We're going to go over what a good schedule is, because that solves like 80% of the issue. But 5-month-old should just have a morning nap, an afternoon nap, a little bit longer afternoon nap, maybe a cat nap around dinner time, dinner with the fam, and sleeping through the night. So one of the questions is, and one of the things that's going to come up tonight as well, is that you guys are all going to say, well, my baby wakes up 2 to 3 times a night or whatever. Well, tell me what you do when baby wakes up, okay? Because we know babies wake up. But I'm most interested in what you guys are doing, to get your baby, or when your baby wakes up, because that's how we know what we have to fix. So naps, okay? You have to give them more. So Jessica, I don't know what you do when baby naps 10 or 20 minutes. So we starts to cry. I'm assuming you don't like that, and I'm assuming that you pick her up and then nap time's over. And that's a big problem. You know, just because they cry doesn't mean we have to go in and get them. And we need to give them a little bit of time figuring they're on the right schedule to learn to go back asleep, because babies do, here, let me hide this. Okay, babies, just like humans, they go through REM cycle sleep. Okay, they connect all these little circulars. Think of a carousel, goes around and around, and that carousel goes around and around multiple times, kind of one time after another. And we have to learn how to connect the REM cycles. And in order to do that, we have to give them enough time to connect the REM cycles. And, you know, 10 minutes is 10 to 20 minutes is not that long. So give them a little nap, solid schedule, feed, wake, sleep. And so do you need to keep her home for 2 or 3 days straight? That's probably best. Probably recommended for sure. Sierra, what's going on? My 7-week-old used to sleep about 7 hours a night in a rock and play. Now she wants to be held for naps and bedtime, or she cries until she gets picked up, or I rock her to sleep and now put her down and she wakes right back up. Yes. Okay, because your baby has developed something we call preferences. And what you're doing is you're training in the negative. Okay, and training in the negative just simply means that you're continuing to perpetuate doing what you don't want to have happen. So if you don't want her to be rocked to sleep, don't rock her to sleep. If you don't want her to be held for naps, don't, right? But what we know we can't do is we know we can't train them to where we just say, if you, all you have to do, baby, is just cry for 45 minutes and then I'll come get you. And that's all we're going to train them to do. And that's a really frustrating and bad process. And that's completely what we want to completely avoid. We want to avoid doing that as much as possible. So what we have to teach them is we have to have a good solid schedule throughout the whole entire day. And we have to make sure they're fed and warm and don't have a poopy diaper and all this kind of stuff. But then when we do, then it just gets down to the point where it's like, hey, you need to learn to go to sleep on your own. Because listen, we teach 8 hours by 8 weeks. So if you have an 8-week-old, they should pretty much, for the most part, be able to do 8 hours, okay, on a solid schedule in the daytime, okay? The presupposition we have to have whenever we talk about crying is that a lot has to be perfect before those things happen. But you can make it perfect. You can make a good schedule so that we can get to the point to where we can actually train them and teach them the skill from going fully wide awake to fully asleep without the help of anyone or anything, which is the core definition of sleep. So, put her down in a crib. Yes, she's going to cry, and you have to leave her there for a while in order for her to get used to that. Because right now all we're doing is just frustrating ourselves and training in the negative of saying, okay, all you have to do is cry for 15 minutes and I'll come pick you up. So, Rachel, what's going on? Help 7-month-old will scream and scream for hours on end and never stop until we pick him up. We try to wait 5 minutes, then extend before we go in and calm him down. He'll only sleep for 30 minutes naps and still up for. So super job. You're thinking in the right direction, Rachel. But 5 minutes for a 7-month-old, like, that is way not enough. You got to go way more. You got to have it. Make sure you're on a nice solid schedule during the day. A lot of times when they see this, when baby will just, you know, scream and scream and scream, they probably have a lot of energy because they're on the wrong schedule to begin with and they're not tired yet. Okay. There's a difference between a baby that cries because they're tired and they're ready to go to sleep, they just don't know how, versus a baby that is not ready to go to sleep and they have a bunch of energy that they need to get out and will cry and cry and cry and get the energy out and then go to sleep. You know what I mean? So you're probably on the wrong schedule, would be my guess. And then at that, you've got to wait a lot longer than 5 minutes to train them. Now, here's a big tip. Okay, we give this tip away every time that we're here. We teach this inside of our course. We're one of the only people in the world that teach this. And it's really common sense. But start sleep training during nap time. Guys, on YouTube, start sleep training during nap time. Okay, start sleep training during nap time. This is for a couple reasons. Number one, it is a time where you're not dying to get sleep and frustrated and tired. And number two, nap times are just shorter than bedtimes. And that's a really, really good time. And if they get overtired or they cry through an entire nap while you're training, guess what? There's going to be another nap that they can catch up on. Okay, so it's a really, really, really good spot to be training first. But they should be on the right schedule. And then that makes it much easier to go to sleep, but we've got to get them to the point where they are ready to go. Heather, thank you for the invite. You're welcome. Teresa, what's going on? Yep, that's me. And I'm trying to get my baby on a schedule, but he just won't fall asleep by himself. He's 9 months, and I can't let him cry it out. And I can let him cry. You can let him cry it out, but it doesn't seem to work with him. I have him on a good feeding schedule now, but he's still not really sleeping any better. Any ideas? Well, lots. We have to continue to let him. So a 9-month-old can easily do it. We have to let him work it out. And, you know, again, I don't know much more, but basically just going off of that, you, I don't know how long you let, but you probably need to let him cry a lot longer than you think. Guys, here's the difference, okay? Early on this one, okay? Let's all get over it and let's all talk about it. Again, put your logic caps on. Take off your emotional cap, and let's just get this out of the way, okay? Crying. Your baby has wants, and your baby has needs. You need to meet all of your baby's needs, but you do not need to meet all of your baby's wants. So if you have one of these babies that the second you put them down in the crib, they start crying, that's a want. They don't want to be in the crib. And baby Ricky Bobby, I love you, but tough. Okay, this is, you need to sleep in the crib because here at the Zoot household, we sleep in the crib. Okay, and I'm not going to give in to that want. If we have a need, dirty diaper or something, whatever, there's teething, there's something going on, absolutely meet that need. Okay, that is the issue with that. And I've got a super bad internet connection here for whatever reason. And so that is what we want to do. Wants versus needs. Wants versus needs. Wants versus needs. And then let your baby cry. It's going to be okay. It's really going to be okay, guys. Babies cry. It's just the way God made them. What's going on? My baby is 4 months. Her last feeding is at 10:30 p.m. She wake up crying at 3 a.m. and her doctor told me she can sleep 8 hours straight. What should I do to let her sleep more? Yes, a 4-month-old should be doing 12 hours easily be doing 12 hours. Okay. Boy, my internet is just wonky tonight. A 4-month-old should be doing 12 hours. Boy, I apologize, guy. My internet is so wonky here. So a 4-month-old should easily be doing 12 hours on the right schedule. So yes, you should be able to go from a 10:30 p.m. feeding all the way through the morning time. And what you have is you have a habit you have to break. Okay, guys, listen, feedings are most of the time habitual. Okay, there's a time where they're needed at night, but when you're transitioning out of them, they're used to that. And we have to kick the habit, right? It's like smokers. When they quit smoking, one of the hardest things for them to do is the lifestyle, getting up out of their office every 15 minutes or hour to go smoke, right? They can get over the nicotine, but they miss gossiping out back while they're smoking, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Type of habit is the same thing when babies eat during the middle of the night. It's just habit. They don't need it, and we just have to break the habit. A short couple days, and they will be broken to the habit. Absolutely, no doubt. I'm going to try one thing here, guys. Hold on. I'm moving my internet just a smidgy little closer, and maybe that will help. So that is what we have to do. So I hope that helps. But if you structure your daytime properly, 10:30 to 7 a.m., no problem at all. Danielle, what's going on? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are awesome. Today, my own big boy bed all by himself. Yes. Good job, Danielle. I knew you could do it. You're a rock star. There you have it, folks. It's possible. Possible with a capital P right there. For sure. All right. Heather, what's going on? My son ends up in his crib. He'll sleep about 3 hours and then wake up. Hubby ends up bringing him into our bed because they can't even get up out of pure exhaustion. Yes. 2 thumbs down for that plan. All right, guys. That's what we want to avoid for sure. Okay. And here's the deal. Heather, she says, however, when he does wake up in the night, he's usually screaming. He's with separation anxiety. How old is your? You know, and again, look, your baby just needs to be sleep trained. Okay. Separation anxiety, you know, could be, but probably not. They need to have structure and they need to be sleep trained. Okay. And we don't want to bring them into our bed. We don't want to reward the negative behavior. Guys, what you're doing is when you reward a crying baby is they go, oh, that worked. My goodness. You know, if you ever wonder why babies cry, or why young children whine, it's because it works. And then they continue to do that. So if you have a child that whines all the time, like an older, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old that whines, you need to think that they continue to do it because it works. Okay? At our house, we do not reward whining under any circumstances. We try again. Okay? We say, no, try again. And we make them use their normal voice, and we make them say, please. And then we will address their concern. And guess what? If I'm firm on that, if I'm strong on that, they get the message and they don't do that. See, again, I do this every time. When 2 wills collide, the stronger will absorbs the weaker will. So kids have really, really strong wills, and we have to be really, really strong +1. Okay, we have to be really, really strong +1 for sure. Keely, what's going on, Keely? You need to join our course, Keely. My baby slept through the night for 2 days. Yes. Keely, good job. Rock on. That is so cool. You still need to join our course, but that is so amazing, Keely. Last few nights he's been waking up twice. I let him cry for about 20 minutes, and then I go in and go in his room. He acts like he's starving. I sure am making it worse because I nurse him at night, and then at 4 a.m. Wakes for the day at 6:30. He's been doing really good with his naps and putting himself to sleep. I've been making sure he has plenty to eat throughout the day. I'm not sure what I should do now. You should join the course because I can't give away all of our secrets. But I can't remember how old your baby is, but you need to just cut out that 4 a.m. feeding. Okay, baby doesn't need it. Well, I don't know how old your baby is. I shouldn't say that before all the trolls jump out of the woods and start crying foul. I don't know how old your baby is, but that's probably logically the next step. But I've already said too much, Keely, because you need to join our course. Because there's lots going on. Because Keely, that's really, really, really good success, and I'm super happy for you. But there's things that we have to do to stabilize that success. Okay. And then we have to know how to transition depending on how old your baby is, because I don't want this success to be short-lived for you. Okay. That's the thing. Feather, what's going on, Feather? Cool name. Mom of twins, please help me get some sleep. All right, Feather, tell me how old they are and I'd be happy to help. Andrea, what's going on? How can you tell the difference between crying because they aren't ready to go to sleep and need more awake time versus crying because they are learning to go to sleep? Well, because of the schedule. So depending on their schedule, we would know if they're crying because their schedule's incorrect. And then that's how you would learn and know, right? How you can learn a baby's cry a bit. So if they're on the wrong schedule, which it's kind of easily to figure out, then we'd knowing that they'd cry because they do that. But if we know we're on perfect feedings and we're on perfect schedule, and see, this is the beauty, guys, when you get your baby sleeping and when you get your baby on a solid schedule and a routine, when something's wrong, it's so easy to pick out. Like there's nothing more frustrating than a baby that doesn't sleep and a baby that cries. And then you spend all your time like trying to dissect, are they too hot? Are they this? Are they this? Are they this? And you try to do it in the moment of conflict and while the baby's crying and your mind's going and it's terrible. And we have to pre-plan all this out. And the release of stress and the ease and the comfort and the calmness and the serenity that comes with having this all planned out is so wonderful. Because we know when something's wrong and we can help our children. And the more we help our children, then the more we can help them. You know what I mean? So that's how we know the difference. If they're on a good schedule, because there comes a point, like I said, once you get A, B, C, D, and E done, and all we have to do is left is F to let them cry it out, it goes super quick. That's our secret, guys. That's how we get babies sleeping. Like, eliminate all the variables. We knock out the variables one by one. The last one's crying, and then we know, just let them go. Let them do their thing. Let them learn, and they'll learn, and it is really amazing. Laura, what's going on? My son still isn't eating full feedings during the day. Any other schedule I can try to get him full for the night? Well, I'd have to know what schedule you're on in order to answer that question, so give me some more information. Danielle, what's happening? I have a question. So my 6-month-old daughter doesn't really sleep, and when she does fall asleep, it's like for 30 minutes at a time throughout the night. We have done everything in the book. Nothing works. When finally do get her to sleep, when we have to wake her up because she has to get medicine every 8 hours. So I'm just at a loss what I can do. Yeah, so I'd have to know so much more information. But a 6-month-old should easily sleep through the night. Again, you have to have good nights. Start with good days. Okay, good nights. Start with good days. So we have to make sure that we have a solid day. And then these good nights easier. So, and again, if she wakes up every 30 minutes, what do you see? You have to tell me what you do when they wake up, because that's so important. And we're so trained and we're so ingrained because we have a high definition monitor and like Dolby surround sound monitors that like tell us every peep the baby makes. And the reality is that if there was a monitor on you all night long, you'd be making some weird, funny noises, okay? We're humans. Like, we don't sleep soundly. Like sleeping through the night, especially for babies, doesn't mean no noise. It doesn't mean they're not going to cry for 5 minutes now and then. It doesn't mean that they're not going to whatever, okay? But they're going to learn to put themselves back to sleep. The definition of sleeping is the ability to go from fully wide awake to fully asleep without the help of anything. It's the ability to put yourself back to sleep, yourself to sleep. Because see, we get a lot of people where they're like, well, at 7 p.m. to sleep. Well, then, and what we find out is, we know then that your baby actually does not have the skill of going to sleep. So that means at 7 p.m., there's probably tons of sleep crutches, tons of things that you're using to get your baby sleeping through the night that you shouldn't, or to get to sleep that you shouldn't. So they don't have the ability. It's being faked by sleep crutches, and that'll eventually catch up and bite you both in the butt. And so we want to do that. We actually want to teach them the skill so that they can do that. But Danielle, give me some more information. Love to help. Ashley, what's going on? My son is now 8 months and breastfed 100%. Okay, sounds like maybe they should be having some food, but that's just my gut reaction. I made the mistake of co-sleeping because I was extremely exhausted at getting up. Yes, that is a big mistake. Now when he has my breast in his mouth? Yes. It is very difficult to lay for about 30 minutes or less. And this is during naps or bedtime. I do eventually get him and rock him or give him my breast. Yes. Don't do. So Ashley, I really want to help you, okay? But all of those things you have to stop doing. You have to stop doing all those things, okay? He probably needs to start solids. We don't want to feed every 2 hours. We don't want to bring him into our bed. We don't want to rock him. We don't want to give him our breast. Okay. So what we have to do is we have to have baby on a solid schedule, feed, wake, sleep every 4 hours, and you have to stick to that and not give in when your baby cries, and not just solve every issue by sticking, a breast in his mouth. And then you're going to start to at least be headed in the direction of getting baby sleeping through the night. Okay? Groundwork. And then they're going to learn more. And listen, you've got some really bad habits, and you're going to have to break them. And it's going to be, look, baby's going to cry, and it's going to be emotionally trying for you, okay? And you need to find good support, like what's offered at mybabycansleep.com. You need to have a community of people that understand what you're going through and want to help you and can give you guidance and make this happen. Because a lot of you, look, Ashley, I think you know what to do. I think it's obvious that, hey, hold on, kitty. You got a big goober. I think it's obvious that you understand some of the things that you're doing, or most things, at least that you said, are not what you want to be doing and not what should be done. But you need help having the right plan, and then having the emotional support and the encouragement to get through those things, so you can actually change, right? That's what is really behind all. Of course, and I'm gonna so you guys stick around, because I'm gonna tell you about our course. I'm gonna do something amazing tonight. I'm gonna show you and tell you about our course at the end. So everyone needs to stick around. From there, we're gonna do something amazing. But what you have to understand is that most of you are trying to avoid crying, and it's really unavoidable. And you have this, you play this frustrating life game of not wanting your baby to cry. And what ends up happening, the most ironic thing about that is, what ends up happening is that your baby ends up crying more. Okay? You can either take a couple days and get all the crying done and everything out of the way, and then your baby won't cry again. Or you can try to avoid it, yet spend the next 6 months to a year dealing with it. And your baby actually in the long run cries literally weeks and months more than they have to. But actually, yeah, 8-month-old should easily through the night for sure. Heather, what's going on? Sorry for all the questions. I have one more. Breakdown when we're not near, or can I do both wean and sleep train? You can do both. Absolutely can do both. Feather, yeah, I know you have twins. I'm trying to, I asked you before how old your twins are, Feather, so do that. 20-month-old, so Heather, a 20-month-old, yes, easily, my goodness, should easily be sleeping through the night. Holy moly, don't put them in your bed. Don't do any of that. They totally can go. All they have to do is properly structured daytime, and they can eat. They can eat during the day, and they do not have to eat during the night. Guys, that's what our human bodies do. Like, the goal, right, is just like an adult body. We get all the calories we need throughout the whole entire day, and they sustain us through the nighttime. Okay, that's the goal. Bethany, what's going on? How can I help my 15-month-old to get to sleep without being crib? Again, Bethany, I just kind of went over this. I don't think that those are actually questions you have. Okay? I think you know what to do. I think if you want him to sleep in his crib, you put baby in crib. I think if you don't want to feed him to sleep, you don't feed him to sleep. Okay? What you need, though, hey, excuse me, Mr. Kitty. What you need is, who is this? This is Shadow. Hi, Shadow. Hi, bud. What you need is to be on a feed, wake, sleep cycle. Okay, so when they wake up, you feed them. Okay, and then you have to give them. You have to be on a solid schedule, and then you have to give them some time to work it out, guys. Again, if you're all these things, if you're trying to run around and avoid crying, this is where they're going to land you every time. Okay, so a 15-month-old can easily, my goodness, do 12 hours. And during the daytime, babies have to be awake enough and hungry enough to take a good full feeding. Those three things. They have to be awake enough and hungry enough to take a good full feeding, to be on the breast long enough to get the good hind calories,